Hello, welcome to season 3. We have a new deck for you this season, which we'll get right into here in a second. But first, I was going to take you on a little photo essay here of some of the NASA stuff I did early and a little later. And I was going to talk about each mission a little individually here. Won't be too long. Stay tuned to the mission. This season, and we will pick that up in a few minutes. What we have here is the original NASA logo from 1958. This is on a jacket where I've put all the patches of any of the missions I've worked on, or any of the places I've worked in the NASA sphere of environment. So this is from the 1950s, and I went ahead and sewed that on the jacket. This is the logo for Landsat D and the first TDRS that was launched, both of which I worked with in some of the earlier videos. I've talked about this, but Landsat C and B were the first ones I actually worked on, but I cannot find a patch for it. So this is why I've got this. I've had this one for 40 years, and sewed these on, and yeah, so that was from the early 80s, I think. So these are they're not replications, they're a copy of my operations badges for being able to go into the control room during the launch. Everyone who was involved with the program on site got one of these. So it was a security badge, basically, that said you were allowed to be there. Landsat 3, or C, when they call it, was March of '78, I think, and that was my first one. And then D with a little prime mark on it is actually the backup for Landsat 4, which quickly failed, and this became known as Landsat 5. So I had patches made of the actual badge. This is a satellite photograph of the Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Chesapeake Bay area, taken from Landsat 5. You note it's in red. The red is actually false colored vegetation that they turn red, and they can tell different things by, the densities of the red and things. And then the more rural, or the more urban areas are like a gray, bluish gray on there. Washington to the south of Baltimore there. And that's the Potomac River on the left and the Chesapeake Bay on the right. Yeah, this is a picture of the Washington, D.C. area, again from Landsat 5, with the vegetation false colored to show up as red. This was probably, 1983, maybe 1984. You can see in the far right bottom quarter, that's Andrews Air Force Base, or Joint Base Andrews, and then you can see some details of the city on the Potomac River there. For those of you not familiar with the Washington area, it's the gray-blue mass in the middle right, and that's the Potomac River, the large estuary there. This is a picture in natural color of the Las Vegas area. In the bottom left is the city, and then to the right, the dark area, is Lake Mead. Now this was taken in probably 1984 using the thematic mapper sensor on the spacecraft. It's so detailed for the time, and now you wouldn't use it at all, not even, it just wouldn't be this right. It's so out of date now, but back then, this was it. So this is Las Vegas, and I live in the Vegas area, so there you go. A few more missions that I worked on. The Cosmic Background Explorer, we did the command management for that, as well as yours. Sampex, we did sort of a ground system for them. And then the bottom left one, I believe, is XR. That was done out of the JPL. And I'll have a little bit more on that later. I was not in the Air Force. I actually worked for the Air Force for a couple of years in the mid-'80s. I left same company, but instead of NASA, I was working for the Air Force Satellite Test Center out in Onizuka Air Force Base, which was actually in Sunnyvale, California. at this place called the Satellites Test Center. It's not there anymore. They tore it down. But I was really happy to be a part of that modernization program the Air Force had with their satellites. What I did was unclassified, but finding this patch I thought was really special. Ellison Onizuka was the astronaut killed in the Challenger accident in 1986, I think. So it's named after him. One of the highlights of my career was working on a space shuttle project for manned space flight at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I spent a year before I went there, and I spent about 6 weeks there before their launch, and that is their mission patch, the SRL-1, and a really cool kind of old JPL logo, and that was the highlight of working at NASA. I think was finally getting to work on a manned space flight application.
This is a Sharp RT-1157. It's our next project here. As you can see, power's up. Most of the lights work, and the VU meters are lit up and the backlit on the tape. However, if you try to play, it doesn't move. Let me put that up for you so you can see. Try to do that. Nothing. Try to do this. Nothing. Alright. So, that is our challenge. So, as you know, if you watch the other ones, I've worked on the RT-1165, which this is sort of a baby cousin or brother of it. And I'll take you, the one improvement I like in here. Notice how much space there is between here and here, and you can actually see the flywheel. Now let's hang on a second. So when I press play, you see it move and then stop. Okay? Very nice compared to the 1165, because we had no room, could barely see anything in there. But the rubber on the belt seems okay. All the other electronics seem okay. You see, compared to the 1165, this is missing an entire board over here. Now, I'm not sure the age of this. It could be older or newer. I'm going to find out, but I'll let you know later. I can never get this stupid thing to focus again. There we go. So, looks very similar. So, we're going to find out why it's not playing, rewinding, or fast forward. My first thought was the belt is gone. It's not. It's there. Seems to be engaging. So, we're going to have to look at somewhere else. So, we'll get to it here in a minute. Okay, since we know it doesn't rewind, fast forward, or play, we're going to take the mechanism out. And to do that, we have to take the bottom off. And, well, it's for ease of getting to it. very pointy things in here. Let's have a look here. This is the underside of the mechanism, of course the board, and looking at this one, can you see some of the miniaturization compared to the 1165? This is a new, I think it's newer. I haven't been able to find a date in it yet, but it's funny how everything sort of shrinks down as time goes forward. And looks like the underside of the mechanism looks pretty good. Just come on, this alcohol pad. Yeah. You can see inside pretty good. So that is that. Okay, oh, we need to take the front cover off. Definitely. So I've got a little tour of some pictures I have that were taken by Landsat 2, 3, and 4 back in the day. And I have them on my wall here at home. And I'll show you that in a bit. Oh my goodness. And, you know, once I got in there and began working, in March of 1978, they launched Landsat 3. And I have my badge allowing me to be in the Operations Control Center because I was working during the launch. So I'm very proud to still have that. You wore it on a lanyard, you know. No high-tech security, it's just a picture of the spacecraft. All right, come on. Let's see if we can get these. Maybe somebody has been here because these look kind of dented up. Oh, let's see. I don't want to break it. That one. And then this goes down. That one. And let's see if we can. Alright, so this one's bent a little. Someone might have been in here. Because I just put, there we go. Alright, so there you go. That's off. Alright, so let's see what we have here. See if you can see it. Well, that shot doesn't look too bad, I guess. Some of the differences between the last one, there was a microphone input, and then your up and down. I think they combined both of those in here because it still has microphone input and headphones, which is kind of nice. And let me see. Ooh, yeah, it's a little dirty. We'll clean her up. But now let's take a look at how to get this mechanism out. Oh, here's our all-important hole right here to be able to tweak the speed if we have to. And it looks like they fixed that little issue because it's lined up properly. I can't show it to you, it's too deep and dark. They fixed it so we can adjust the speed later if we have to. This deck doesn't look like, it in some ways it doesn't look like it was used very much due to, look at the cover. This cover, no scratches. But then I cleaned some dirt off of these keys earlier, just using, you know, your old little bit of alcohol and everything. And not too bad. And I don't know, this looks more, I don't know, I want to say compact, but it was the same size. So I'm taking alcohol now, just kind of getting some of the dirt off. Kind of lays in here. Now, you know, anytime you open something like this, it's a 40-some-year-old treasure vault. You never know kind of what you're going to find. A lot of the plastic begins to yellow. And if it was very common for people to smoke cigarettes back then, and they would be yellow. I don't smell any cigarette use of this at all, which is really nice. Let's see. Where is... This is definitely different from the 65. I gotta make sure there's, remember, all right, we gotta take some screws out from the front. But I only see, the last one had 3. So there's only one here so far. Could be one inside there. So there's one, and then there's one attached to the mech on the side, and there's got to be one over here. Could be this one down here hiding, but I don't want to take it. And some of the holes, you'll see holes, but they were for adjustments. Like this one here is to adjust the head azimuth, like make it like this or this if it's not playing right. I haven't done that yet. I've seen it on YouTube, of course, people doing it, but you have to have an oscilloscope and things, and we might get there. But right now, we'll see if I can get it going here. All right. So, well, yeah, I have to take it out. Okay. So let's see if we can get it out. Where are you? You know, I've used one screwdriver almost for everything. Sometimes a smaller one. But this guy here, a standard old Craftsman, you know. So, there's one here. Oh, and there's also something else about this deck. If you followed the first season, we took this black plate off thinking we could get to, thinking we had to. We did not. I did not. You did not have to take it off. And it was a pain because it had these metal push rods that go through that control all the buttons. There we go, gone a bit out of focus again. I think I got that one. Oh. And it just went flying, of course. All right, so that's one. Let's see. There's one on this, I can't do it with this. There's one on the side here, attaching it to, they're actually, the screws were connected to the same thing. So let's see. This is the first time I've ever been in one of these. This model anyway. Lovely. They put a plate on there. They put this on. The first screw I took out was screwed into this, the second is screwed into this, and that's loosened that. Oh, there it is. I've lost the bloody screw. Hey, dust, man. Oof. Great. Like a mummy's tomb. Alright, so that was those two. Now, we have our fun spring down here that connects to the play record switch. It's right, I'm going to use a pointer right in here. See this little spring right here? So it is 3/4 less the size of the other one. And we're going to take a close look at this to see how to get it off. And this looks easier so far. Oh wait, I see another screw to take the mechanism off. Let's have a look. It's this guy right here. So let's tell you what. Let's get the spring first, and then we'll get yourself some little. Oh, I'm giving you the X-ray version. Get yourself some little needle nose. And let's see if we can do this without bending everything and all that. Come on, boy. You know what? Plan B. Let's take the screw out. Because the thing is resting on what this is screwed in. This is territory I've never been in yet, so we're gonna, uh-oh, I think I've heard something drop. And it's probably the spring. Well, let's go take a look. See, oh yeah, there it is. Another one of these doodabby, braces. So keep that. And I know there's a spring attached to it. Oh no, the spring's still there. Good. Now let's have a look. Let's switch it back up here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's another hidden screw. The secret screw was that one I alluded to earlier, which is this guy. I hope. Okay, come on, you. Getting there. It was definitely needed to be coming out. You just don't want to get on a screw and find out it was to adjust something, and then you completely thrown it completely out of whack. So let's see. So that's that one. Hey, there we go. Now there's always these metal brackets. Let's get you back. Take that out. Oops. Stop. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Up. All right, let's see. Come on now. There's our very fun counter belt. A little bit easier to get to in this model. Feels a bit blah. I don't see anything obvious yet, so let's see if we can get it out way out. The head looks okay. See, the pinch roller looks really not used that much, or somebody kept it really clean. Good for you. Because if you don't clean it, that can become parts of. All right, so we've got that. Come on. I don't want. Oh, wait a second. No. That should come. Oh. Or not. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. You don't want to damage any of this. Come on, get out. Okay, you. Struggle number. The struggle is real, folks. Ow. That was my hand. I'm looking in at the gears and stuff, and I don't see anything obviously wrong yet, but we'll out. Alright, so let me remember, before you remove wires and other stuff too, let's take a picture. Looks like we have one there. Where is it? Oh, yeah. See one, the orange one. Anything on single tabs you can pull out. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch right here. There's the green one. Sorry, there's another orange one and a green one. Okay. That's the one thing about modern technology. Take as many pictures as you want, really. And then, God, before you would have to go out and get them developed. Can you imagine? All right, so I think I got it.
So yeah, so that's episode 1. We got the mech out. Coming up, we'll see what's going on in it and see what else we can get into on this one. So you need to subscribe, like, and comment on this. Love to hear from you. Go ahead and drop it in the comments there, and there will be more in the second episode.